Like how it doesn't take any longer.
Sorry that you have left.
It's just
That's okay. You did great, Arby.
I'm gonna put that ice cream.
All right. Hope your committee time was productive, everyone. We're now going to move on to our executive reports. And we'll start with Katie.
Hi guys, so I have two things for you today. First thing, Colleges Against Cancer. I don't know if you guys follow us on Twitter, but we took a picture for Paint the Campus Purple Week. And so basically they've asked us to just let you guys know to like promote that and tell all your friends. On Wednesday, it's a big day. They are asking everyone to wear purple. And like they'll be doing purple food in Brandeis and Becker, and change all the basketball nets purple. Like it's just gonna be a big purple event or purple day. It's to raise awareness for Relay for Life, which will be March 27th. So they want people to register for that. So that's happening. So let's tell all your friends, let everyone know about that. Purple food. Yeah, purple. Like it's gonna be purple everything. So
That should be fun.
it'll be interesting. So we're purple on Wednesday. And sign up for Relay for Life. Alright, and then the other thing I have, so last week I gave an update from CSU at the IRHG General Assembly meeting, and they had a few things for me. Just they're holding their elections this week and next week, so they'll be getting a new leadership team in soon, which we'll be looking forward to working with them. And at our next committee meeting, we'll have a representative from IRHG come and give an update. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll hear from Zach.
Alright, hi guys. So update on the student list. So I know you guys don't want to hear this, but we don't have them ready just yet. Since it's like our first year, we're still trying to adjust like some of the things, and there's like some students that don't necessarily fall under just like the 3 general undergraduate schools. So we're trying to figure those out. I just submitted to get the listservs though, so those will be next week. I know I keep saying that, but they will be next week. It's just like these last little group of students that we're just trying to figure out and adjust so it's easier for future years to be able to just like put it right in. So yeah, be on the lookout for those. And then NJSLC, I sent you guys an email a few days ago. The applications for that are now open. So we're looking for a few undergraduate members of CSU to come with us to NJSLC this summer, so the National Jesuit Student Leadership Conference. It's going to be in Buffalo, New York at Canisius College at the end of June, I believe. So if like you're worried like, well, I'm not going to be in Omaha for that, we can accommodate and you can fly out from wherever you happen to be and just meet us in Buffalo. So we're going to pay for like your registration, airfare, and everything. And I really, really strongly encourage all of you guys to apply for it because it's a great experience, a great opportunity to connect with all the other Jesuit schools, student governments, leaders on campus. So please, those are due the Wednesday before spring break, so March 4th. So yeah, go and apply.
And if you have any questions about what the conference is or what you can expect by going, RB, Sarah, MJ, Mark, and I all went this past summer, and it was and Anne-Marie. Thanks, Anne-Marie, we love you. But it was a phenomenal experience, so I highly encourage you guys to look into it at least if you can make it. Thank you, Zach. And now we'll hear from Alex.
Hey guys, so on Thursday I had a pretty jam-packed appropriations meeting, so I have a lot of reports to give you guys and have up for review. First, we heard from the Higher Business Senate. They requested $7,012 with 12 cents, and the Appropriations Committee approved them for $6,700. It was for their entire semester budget, which mainly consisted of their senior banquet that they host with their respective school. It also had an idea for Thursdays after class, Thursdays or Tuesdays. They're still up in the idea. It's kind of an idea that sometimes they believe that the business students feel left out about all of the whack things that happen down here. So they want to throw just a food giveaway, just something really small to kind of accommodate people on the other side of campus. It's still in the works right now, but primarily what we're going to see is like pizza or some sort of food item that they're just giving out at a table in Harper. So that was the other thing they requested. They also want to do a study zone because they also feel that sometimes the library gets filled up and sometimes there's not enough things to accommodate people studying, especially in the Harper Center. So they want to get rent out a few rooms, fill it with food, and kind of just leave it open to all students, not just business students, but kind of just add another place to study during midterms and final weeks. And that was also a thing they asked for. The reason you see the $300 dock is they asked for 2 things that were assets, so we couldn't fund those. It's their first time asking for funding in a long time, so they were still a little iffy on that. And this is specifically saying that they can only use up to 10% of the approved amount on t-shirts that they will be spending to promote themselves. So is there any call for rep review?
I just have a question.
Yeah, sure.
For the Thursday after class, since it's going to be modeled Wednesday after class, wouldn't that be something that program board can?
It's not in conflict with like anything like CSU wise, and it's not. It's just
Are they asking like money from the budget for that?
It's basically just to cover like the costs of it. It's not like stealing our idea. Is that what you're worried about? Like stealing the idea?
No, I'm just asking like do they have to ask funding for that if program board can take it out of their funding?
It's nothing to do with program board. It's completely separate from that
but should it
principle. No, not necessarily, because it's not program. Program board's thing is entirely on its own. It's a Wednesday where they have an activity and a food. This is more just an idea to try and because there's no dining option down there too. So that was kind of their idea, just to have like, hey, let's just have a table with some pizza on it and just a suggestion box for the higher business center, kind of in Hartford.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of still in the rough bit of it. They definitely just had a change of leadership in the higher business center, and they want to improve more. They haven't asked for funding in the past semester, so they really have been just running low on funds. They never really needed any funding, so this is kind of them taking a little bit of initiative and trying to do something.
Okay.
Good. Cool. So moving on, the honors program came to us and asked for $250. And the appropriations committee increased that to $600 just based on how their budget was going. The reason you'll see that increase is their budget consisted of a grant that is not going as planned, and it also consisted of their advisor paying out of his own budget. So appropriations committee felt that this the Quiz Bowl event is such a success that CSU should back it up in full and help pay for refreshments and small prizes. So yeah, it's basically just, I don't know if any of you know, the honors program throws on a Quiz Bowl every year. It's open to all students and staff. So staff will have a team. There'll be a staff league and an undergraduate and a student league. It fills up really fast. They have 25 teams. I know I wanted to do it last year and I didn't get on a team because it filled up so fast. So it's a real huge success. The honors program does not have any funding for it, so they're just looking for ways to find it. And CSU, at least the appropriations committee, would really like to support them in that. Anyone have any concerns or questions or any call for rep review? Okay, moving on. So the Native American Association came to talk to us and asked for $7,000, and they were approved for that full $7,000. And it was for their 11th annual powwow, a very popular event that's hosted in the KFC every year. Kind of like the luau, but more towards a Native American perspective. Huge event. They estimated that over 1,000 people came last year, not just from the Creighton students, but also the community as a whole. He told me that just some people in the area started bringing their drums and piling into the KFC, and it was a merry old time, and they ran out of food. So they increased the budget. This is about what we see in the past, and Student Life matches what we provide them. So we found that $7,000 seemed to be a pretty reasonable amount. The entire cost of the event is around $18,000. So they're filling out grants from all over the place and definitely seeing a lot of different sources of income. And it's free of charge to all students. So we think this is a great allocation of our funds. Any questions or calls for rep review? Cool. Then we heard from the Creighton Climbing Club. This isn't a sporting club. It's just a recreational club of people that like to climb on climbing walls that they don't necessarily have access to every day at Creighton. So it was for $600 for their semester budget. And every weekend, every Saturday, they go to Nebraska Omaha to climb on their rock wall. And they have an agreement with the athletics department over at Nebraska Omaha for quite cheap rentals. At the moment, each person is asked to pay $70 towards kind of their weekly trips over there. And that's for $70 they pay right at the beginning. And it's just assumed that once they pay early, they're expected that they'll be going every weekend, just so they don't have people constantly coming and going for one weekend at a time. And the $600 is just to keep it reasonable and keep dues down so it's open to everyone that has this kind of niche that they like to help. And CSU has been supporting them for the past 3 semesters, and it's primarily been around this dollar amount. Any questions or calls to rep review? Perfect. Then we heard from the Muslim Student Association for $2,500, and we're approved in full. Their idea is to bring a Muslim comedian who was voted the funniest Muslim in America to campus. And it's kind of an idea just to break the ice. They talked a lot in their committee time. They talked a lot during our meeting about how there's a lot of these really cultural barriers that no one really likes to bring up. So humor might be a really good way to bring it out. One of the people on the appropriations committee pulled up a video of them to just watch him for 5 minutes to see if it was a good investment, and they laughed their butts off. So I think they were definitely saying they would go see it. It's going to be in the Harpo Ballroom, and it'll be free to all students, but they plan to charge a small fee to people in the community that want to come, so it's kind of one of those communal events as well. And the total cost of the event was $4,000, and this is primarily to help cover the fee that the comedian charges to come. So any other questions or calls for rep review? Cool. Then we heard also from the College of Arts and Science Senate, who asked for $4,370, and they were approved for $3,000. The things they tend to hold throughout the year is a huge number of money goes towards their Dean's Honor Roll dinner and their midterms food outside the library. You'll see that we docked them some money, and it's definitely something that's been around for a while. Is the Arts and Science have a large amount of money in their checking account, and no one on the leadership seems to know why it's there. It's around $6,000, and it's been there for a sizable amount of time. And over the past couple semesters, we as CSU have not been giving them their full funding, just so they slowly start digging money out of that fund. Just so, basically, that $3,000 is coming. They're spending about $1,300 on their membership events, whether that's bowling or just kind of stuff for the group as itself, and not benefiting the student body as an entirety. So the Appropriations Committee docked them by that $1,300 amount, basically saying, since you have the funds necessary to pay for these events, we would just ask that you pay for it out of your own pocket until those funds no longer become available. We're definitely just trying to downsize it a little bit, get it within reason. While the Business Senate has $0 in the checking account, we see $6,000 in Arts and Science, and the question how it got there is kind of up in the air, and they don't really have any plans. When you ask them how they're going to use it, they don't have a plan or a grand scheme of things of where it's going to go. So that was what the Appropriations Committee believed was best suited. So any questions or calls for rep review on that one? Okay. Then we heard from El Legado de Capacción. They requested $10,900 and were approved for $8,000 for their Kids Against Hunger event in the Sculpt Ballroom. It happened last year, and basically El Legado de Capacción is a group of students that formed this club after coming back from the Dominican Republic and really seeing that they could make an impact here on Creighton's campus. So every year they host this Kids Against Hunger event where they gather in the Sculpt Ballroom and they pack meals for people in Haiti or Sierra Leone. To do this, they don't necessarily have the resources to do it on such a grand scale. So they bring in Kids Against Hunger, which is an organization that does this on a day-to-day basis. The number you're seeing here is Kids Against Hunger will come in and help the process, but they're looking for people to pay for the food that we're packing, and that's where they come to CSU often for aid. As you'll see, they want to increase. Last year it was 40,000 meals they packed, and this year they want to get it up to 50,000. 78.4% of their revenues are intended to come from CSU. CSU has sponsored in the past and funded for $9,250, but the Appropriations Committee definitely believes that the amount was just getting too high for the amount of the other amounts of revenue that were coming in. They just see this as they really question whether it's a Creighton and our student mission is that, but there was a lot of talk about, is it directly impacting Creighton like in a great way? Like, yes, students will have the opportunity to volunteer for an afternoon, but is approximately $11,000 really, could it go somewhere better? So that was really where $8,000 came from. And it was definitely a huge controversial night for the appropriations over this matter. Is there any questions or calls for rep review?
So the $8,000 is going to paying for the meals?
Yeah, so how it works is basically it's a spectrum. However much money you give them is however many meals they could make. So $8,000 is at the current state will bring them down to 40,000 meals instead of the $50,000 meal, instead of the 50,000 meals from what we calculated. Carlton?
Have we approved them before?
Yes, so we approved them. During John Greenwood's, we never heard about it, so the past year, so it was 2 years ago. They asked in October, and we approved them for half up front and half after the matter, and it ended up being $9,250 was what we approved them in the past. The reason it's down to 8,000, we can still do the 40,000 meals, is because they have estimated, they believe they can get about $800 in corporate sponsorships, and this year they're also doing t-shirt sales where they're going to buy t-shirts, sell them for a slight profit, and then use that money to help cover for food as well. Definitely controversial in the appropriations.
Did they have this event last year? And if they did, where did they get the money from?
They did. So they got it last year from CSU, but instead of requesting it this late in the process, they requested it in October
Oh,
of the
okay.
year. So
Do we know like how much participation this event gets? Like
from
student
what I
body?
from what I was told on my form, 200 volunteers of the Creighton, and basically they just open the door and say anyone walking through Scott can come in and volunteer their time. In our bylaws, it says we cannot donate money, but we believe that we are buying something and it is being transformed and then donated, which kind of is it's not us giving it's not us giving them money to turn around and give somewhere else. It's actually us providing something that can be transformed into something else and benefit the community as a whole. Sarah.
So based on like the amount of CSU funding, and with the T-shirt sales and the corporate sponsorship, is that going to get them at 40,000 meals, or will that push them to 50,000?
No, so if they do not get that 10,900, they can't do 50. They can do 40 with 8,000 at the moment.
Okay. Oh, got it. But if they get that corporate sponsorship and sell
Yeah.
those T-shirts, they could get up to 50,000.
If
Possibly.
it depends, their corporate sponsorship, they're still very wary on the process of the corporate sponsorship and how much they're going to come from. It's all estimations at the moment, but they told me that they need to pay for all of their money by March 25th. So
Is it a club or like?
it's a club, it's a student org, but
Is the only event that they do?
primarily yes. I see a lot of talk. If you guys call for rep review, you can just open discussion and discuss amongst yourself, and then you can choose to amend the amounts, or just if you guys feel like it should get 50% of you guys call for rep review. I just see a lot of discussion right now. So if it's me just answering questions, that's one thing. But if you guys want to discuss amongst yourself, I would recommend one of you just call for rep review.
I have a question. How many people are in this club?
26. Anyone want to do anything about this, or are we good with 8,000? Okay, guys. Seeing no call for rep review, let's move on. So this clinical reasoning club is an interdisciplinary fund. If you guys were on this last semester, we talked about creating an interdisciplinary line, which is an amount of funds that specifically goes to something that incorporates 3 or more schools at Creighton in nature. So we heard our first request was from the Clinical Reasoning Club for $6,000, and they wanted to host the first annual Creighton Clinical Reasoning Spring Competition, which is basically medical in nature and has case studies. You'll see the amount was lowered. That was because $200 was for gas for opponents, for people coming in, and that's not something we don't want to spend our student fees to pay for other people's gas. And also, there was they wanted to buy plaques, which is not allowed in our bylaws, so that amount was taken off as well. So we're down to $5,500. And the schools represented are nursing, medicine, and pharmacy. So yeah, any call for rep review on that, Carlton?
Don't they have their own budget for nursing med school and also?
So exactly, they do. So, but there was a lot of logistics things around that of who's funding how much and how that stuff. So that's where the interdisciplinary line comes in, because it has all of those schools represented. We created this line for CSU to donate to. Because of our double jeopardy clause, nursing, medicine, and pharmacy are not contributing any money towards it.
Okay.
It is solely coming from us because we just see with the new strategic plan, there's a lot of interdisciplinary initiatives, and CSU is moving towards that as well, and that's where this new line is. And it's available to anyone. We have a certain amount of money in the line, and we can give it out to any disciplinary, and of any event that's interdisciplinary in nature.
Sounds good.
So any other questions? Any calls for rep? Yeah.
What percentage, is like nursing? Is it like primarily medicine and pharmacy?
So nursing also isn't. So the reason nursing is represented here, and some things a lot of nurses don't realize, is we also have graduate nurses, and there's a specific stimulation in that the teams must have a representative of each school on them. So that kind of keeps the interdisciplinary nature going. I thought that as too when I looked at it, is this just pharmacy and medicine kind of grouping up and then finding someone else to kick in? But no, nursing is definitely incorporated into the competition and will have a say. Okay, guys, that's all I got. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you, Alex. Now we'll hear from Maddie.
Okay, so I have 4 events to tell you guys about. The first one is Mission Improbable, and that's happening in like an hour at 7 o'clock. I just got Fireplace, and it's gonna be really cool, so you guys should go. Second thing WAC this week is going to be a little bit different. We're partnering with 2 different organizations. IRHG is doing their diversity event, and so at WAC, we're going to be decorating mugs for students to take from WAC to diversity to get tea from their event. And then we're also partnering with Colleges Against Cancer and Paint the Campus Purple because it is Wednesday, so we're doing brownies with purple frosting. So that is this Wednesday. The midnight movie that happens every semester is going to be on March 18th. We're doing Insurgent, which is from the Divergent series. We are going to start advertising that soon. That cannot go on social media. So we can advertise with posters or anything else, but you can't specifically say, I'm going to Insurgent tonight. You can say, I'm going to the midnight movie tonight, but you can't like say the name because we are getting it a day early than like the rest of the country, and it's in the contract. So the tickets for that are going to become available on March 5th in SCUT 209 from 8 to 11, and then they'll be in the SAO if we have any extras. We're giving out about 170 tickets.
In the morning?
Yeah, 8 a.m. And then there's going to be pizza and pop, just like we usually do at those movies. Spring Fling concert is April 17th, so mark that on your calendar. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we're revealing to the campus on March 4th, which is next Wednesday. So we're going to start a week-long kind of social media campaign to, like, we're going to just release some hints of who it is and have people comment who they think, and then they'll get put into a drawing for something. But we began the booking process for the opener at NACA last week, so that's exciting. And the way that we're revealing on March 4th is that all of Program Board, Street Team, and then the members of the Division of Student Life that are volunteering at the concert are going to be wearing their t-shirts that day, so we'll just kind of be like a walking advertisement. And then we'll also be playing the opener and the headliners music at WAC that Wednesday. So that's exciting. That's in a week. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. All right, thank you all for your patience through all of the funding requests. First, we're going to start with Rep Spotlight. We have Rachel and Trevor tonight.
Hello, my name is Trevor Schlecht. I'm a freshman. I am in the College of Arts and Sciences, obviously. I'm undecided pre-med. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I have 2 siblings, a brother and a sister. I'm currently involved with FLP and Model UN besides CSU. In 10 years, I see myself, probably won't be a doctor, so that's cool, I guess. Let's see. Bucket list. I would really like to visit all 7 continents soon. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
My name is Rachel Ridley. I'm a freshman in the College of Nursing. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I have 1 little brother. My biggest pet peeve is when people eat apples, like the sound of people like crunch. I don't know, it's a problem. And bucket list. I would love to run the full marathon. I'm actually running my first half in 2 weeks. But you know, the goal is on my bucket list. And my favorite thing about Creighton, I don't know. I live on Q at 9, and I love it up there with MLP. That's probably my favorite thing.
Great, thank you guys so much. Next, I would like to talk to all of you about reps at WAC. Thank you so much to everyone that has come the past 2 WACs. They've been a little interesting. I had a great time playing guest DJ 2 weeks ago, but aside from that, we had the half-court shot. Sarah and MJ, Charlie a little bit. Everyone did a great job of having everyone sign up. Last week, Nick and Charlie and Ty and I kind of found that there wasn't a lot of interaction going on. So I did approach some students and say, hey, you know, we're representing the Board of Representatives. Do you have any ideas for CSU? And they're like, no, I'm nothing. So that was a little frustrating. We had a suggestion box out there too, and not much came from that. So what we're going to do is hold off on having reps at WAC until WAC is moved outside with better weather. Just because with being on the mall, there's a lot more foot traffic, and so I think we can engage the students a little bit better and have our own space to be able to talk as CSU. So if you're signed up or like have it on your calendar that you're signed up for WAC, just hold off until further notice. And then my third thing, this Saturday, the 28th, 3 p.m. to 5:30, we are going to Sempex. I hope you all saw my email. We're super excited. It's bowling and laser tag. There is SurveyMonkey that I sent out in that email. So if you could all fill that up by Thursday, I would really appreciate that. Also, if you don't have a ride or you need someone to drive, shoot me an email and I can help you figure that out. But it's like a half an hour west, so it is a little bit of a drive. But it'll be a super fun time, and we hope you can all make it. And for open discussion tonight, I would like to, actually one more thing quickly. Stephanie, who helps out in the SAO, put all of your pictures that we took at training on the website. So if you go to creighton.edu/CSU, you can see your beautiful faces, but we are missing a few. So Lulu, Chris, MJ, Rachel Schwartz, who's not here, and Haley, it's up to you if you want to have it taken at the next full board or sometime this week. If you could all come up after the meeting and talk to me, I'm just going to snap your picture quick so that we can have your face next to your name on the website. So open discussion, I'd love to hear, again, like we did last committee, from the committee chairs, just a little bit about what you talked about tonight.
Okay, so campus planning here. So the biggest two things that we talked about were recycling and composting. We are just currently getting information from different people. So we're going to be sending out emails, a lot of phone calls, meetings with IRHG. I guess our biggest thing is a collaboration with IRHG on composting. They have a action committee, campus action committee on sustainability, and we're definitely going to get in contact with them and see if we can start a campus-wide compost. But that's what we're working on.
Great, thank you. Who would like to go next? Mark.
The biggest thing we talked about was kind of how you mentioned waiting to have reps until the first WAC outside. We're thinking about having the first chocolate and guava that same week or the week after on Thursday, like we normally do on the malls. We have a little more foot traffic than in here and stuff. So, yeah.
Thank you. Lulu?
So we're still talking about working with IRHG to get more co-ed floors on campus. So we're going to talk to one of the execs in IRHG who is currently the RA of QA8, which is co-ed. And then we're going to go from there, hopefully write some legislation with them, and then get some feedback from students who have lived on co-ed floors and have them tell us why they love it and why they think it would be a great impact, and then hopefully present it to higher up administrators and residents live.
Great, thank you. Dee.
So for external affairs, we had the idea of contacting different Jesuit schools and forming some sort of communication with them about what they do, either quarterly, semester, whatever. So a few emails were sent out of our 3, and so far we only have one response. And that was from Seattle University, and one of their ideas was that they create a quarterly report, and which has input from each of their reps. Their reps are structured differently than ours are, but it's their athletic rep is oh, we did this, and their international rep says this, blah, blah, blah. So it's a really nice looking report too. So the idea for us could be to do a yearly report and then give that out as a shutdown or to prospective students or to new students or whatever that is. We just need to have enough information to put in the report.
Great idea. Thank you all. Does anyone else have anything for open discussion tonight?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll talk to Lulu about this, but I know our committee worked on library hours, and I just happened to be connecting through the Craytonian, and there was an article posted about it, how an uproar of students are concerned about the hours, so maybe that's enough push. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up.
Last I spoke to them, they had their meeting what was it, a month ago, and I was unable to go, but I was emailing back and forth with the lady, and they really don't want to extend the hours, but I'm sure that since the Craytonian did put an article in, they'll want to. But I can show you. They gave me the stats because last 2 semesters ago they were taking count of how many people were there at different hours. So they took it like every half hour to see the count after like 10 o'clock. And after 12, the numbers dropped from like 20 people to like 5 people. So keeping the whole library open was not something that they liked. But then I brought up the idea that we were thinking of closing the top floor, leaving the bottom floor open. And they were going to see if they were able to do that. But I know that they probably won't do it this semester just because how they've budgeted, and they've also don't have enough staff to stay in that long. But I'll be sure to email her and talk to her again.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know about that because I know you were talking with that person.
Thank you.
I was just comment on that. With minimum wage increasing, is that going to be, or I'm assuming that will be more of an issue also? because you're
Yeah.
gonna have to pay people a lot more.
And also, they're looking at renovating the library, so, because that's in the strategic plan. So.
Allie?
I've just been hearing lately a lot of comments, checking people in. I don't know if we would have to probably talk to IRHG more about that, but more of like the futility of it and how easy it is to work around the system. I don't know if we've tried to do anything before. I've been hearing a lot lately.
IRHG has actually been talking about that, and they can tell you more about it. But I know they've been trying to work with it, like extending the hours or just changing it. But that's something really hard to do because
There is preliminary legislation being read right now. I'm in that process. It just kind of I'll be able to come up with that. It's definitely something we're working on.
And Cameron is meeting with the president.
Yeah, I'll be meeting with the president tomorrow, so that's when I can bring that up
Bring
then.
that up as well. Anybody else? Yes.
I would just like input from you guys. I'm on the Scott Advisory Board. And we were talking about if there would be open during the terms and finals week, 24 hours since the library is open as well. Do you guys use Scott after like until how late? Like
once the coffee comes out.
Okay.
2 a.m.
They said they threw a lot of coffee away.
Really?
It tastes like burnt
I feel like, yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
always.
when I was trying to get it, it was always
Okay. What time do you guys go? Like,
I've been in there like all night before.
like through the entire
Yeah.
night? Okay.
Just like kind of to like go off of that, like last year I used to study in there like during midterms and finals. The only like problem is there's probably like 10 or 15 kids, but then like everyone leaves and just like it's sporadic. So I guess it's like a reason why like they would consider like not doing that. But.
Yeah. Since the library is going to be open 24 hours, would you prefer to study in the library? It seems like a waste to have both.
Well, I personally don't like studying in like super quiet spaces because that's just like me, and I don't do well in libraries. But I would really like utilizing Scott being open 24 hours. I mean, like I
Are
have.
you guys there past 2 a.m. or is it?
I have.
Okay.
Let's just.
I've used it really early in the morning, like gotten up at 5 or 6 to come and study in Scott. And I would rather like study in Scott if I'm going to get up early than be in the library. I feel like the same sort of like, dead silence in the library versus like being in a place where people are moving around.
Yeah, I like reiterate that like same thing because I mean I stay in Scott probably like the latest for like 4 or something. I don't know if I've like spent the night there, but like definitely like I'm there late and it's like the same thing. You can actually like talk with people and like study with people because then like the library commons fill up really and gets loud really easily. With Scott you can like spread out and still be able to talk to people. That's what that is.
I like the library a lot and I would rather stay there, but opening Scott would relieve some congestion in the library too, so it's not as loud because even the areas that are supposed to be quiet can get loud in the library if it's too quiet.
Okay, I was just wondering because they said that the numbers from the last time they were open all night were like 4 people. So that's really not worth paying somebody to be there all night. So do you guys just happen to be those 4 people? Or are there other people? Like, I'm trying to tell if this is like representative of the rest of the students, or if it just happens to be like us.
I don't know. When I was studying late in Scott, I definitely saw way more than 4 people. I don't know whether they're getting enough. I don't know how that happens, but I studied in Scott late, probably 3 nights out of finals weekend. There's definitely more than 4 people.
And like, well, my thing would be if they were to close, like, would they just close from like 4 to 6 or something? Like,
I think they were talking about going back to like normal hours because it's open until 2 at night. I think it opens at 6:30 in the morning. It's pretty early.
Due to the nature of finals week and like midterms week, I think there's a heavy studying on Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But as you could definitely like, you don't have to be open until midnight on Friday or Thursday night because a lot of people don't have finals or anything that day. I mean, you see a lot of people leaving because a lot of people just leave campus after their last finals. So.
Okay. During dead week, do you guys ever use it in the middle of the night, or is that more just a finals week thing?
I think just finals.
Or like,
Yeah.
would it be a big deal for it to be closed during dead week? Or
No.
okay.
I don't use it.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, student organization announcements. How are student org emails going forward? I know I've gotten Haley's, so thank you. Just reminder, when you get around to it, that would be wonderful. And copy and paste kind of what I have in there. Maybe put in, just a suggestion to someone, myself and Haley, which organization you're emailing about, because I know that some people are involved in multiple different organizations. So they say, oh, I'm your representative, just say, for whichever club that is, math club, whatever organization you're a part of. But if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. We don't have any old business, and there's no new business tonight. Advisors update.
My only update would be that the student organization award nominations are now out, so you all or your peers can nominate each other in different student organizations and or faculty and staff for the outstanding work that they've been doing throughout the course of the year. So there's 7 different awards. We can get that out over the graph this year as well, so you can see if those are, but feel free to also send them information out to the folks that you're emailing in your emails.
Also, for sustainability, for composting and recycling, I don't know if you know that we have a sustainability council at the university.
Correct. The person who heads that, is that Mary Duda? Yeah, I emailed her, and that's the person that I've been contacting for recycling.
Great, and they've got a meeting this Friday.
This Friday. Okay.
This Friday at 2 o'clock in 105. So if you're interested on that, and then building off of Cayman's kind of promo for Colleges Against Cancer. I know you got Dr. Bradbury's email this morning. Most of you probably didn't interact with Father Schlegel as a president, but he was incredibly supportive of CSU. He was incredibly supportive and engaged with students. So if you have the opportunity to attend the Mass, or at least the Get Well or Be with Peace message that we're going to have on Tuesday at 11:45 and stay in front of St. John's. It would be great to see students and especially CSU present because again, he was incredibly passionate. He had breakfast on a regular basis with CSU and with student organizations, played racquetball consistently with students. So if you can be supportive of him, I know it would mean a lot.
Thank you. Are there any upcoming funded events? So we will adjourn at 6:12.